Welcome everyone to Defender for Cloud in the Field. This is the second episode of 2025. We started the year with containers, and we're going to still around that area because today we're going to talk about Kubernetes. But before I go to today's topics, I want to say thank you for coming back to the show and subscribing to the channel. If you are not a subscriber yet, make sure to go to this link below the playlist, aka link that I'm putting right now below. And subscribe to the playlist, hit the bell to receive notifications when new episodes are uploaded. And with that, I would like to welcome for the first time in the show, Inbal Beitler. Inbal, thank you very much for being on.
Hi, Yuri. Thank you for having me.
Inbal, since this is the first time that you're here, I would like you to give a brief intro about what you do at Microsoft. What are the main projects that you are working on?
So I'm a product manager for Defender for Containers, and my focus area is mostly about what we call the workload experience. That's the developer, the platform engineer that has to take all the security issues and work to remediate those.
Awesome. And this is actually is a great follow-up from the previous episode with Beatrice. And I think that the first question that I have for you is about this new Azure Kubernetes Security Dashboard. Can you explain a little bit more about what it is? What was the rationale? Why did you create that?
Sure. So the new AKS Security Dashboard provides visibility and automated remediation for Kubernetes security issues. It helps platform engineering teams secure their clusters by consolidating security and operational data within the AKS portal. We are assisting administrators and developers in securing containerized applications.
All right. And what are some of the key capabilities for this dashboard?
So the dashboard offers several key features. First, it lets you get a posture overview of your clusters. So user can quickly comprehend the security posture of their cluster based on assessed risk. For each security issue identified by Defender for Cloud, we automatically calculating the associated security risk, and by that we are able to give you an overview of your posture status. Another key feature is vulnerability assessment. Defender for Cloud scans the cluster's software components for vulnerabilities. It is identifying both application-level vulnerabilities managed by the customer and AKS component vulnerabilities. Those problems can be addressed by upgrading the cluster node pool or the AKS version. Another issue type we surface in the dashboard is security misconfigurations. It highlights security misconfigurations in both the cluster and the containers running in it. For every issue, there are guided remediation steps, and where possible, we even have an automatic fix button.
That's awesome. Well, assuming that I already have Defender for Cloud, which most of our listeners, they do have, what additional value can I get from using the AKS Security Dashboard?
So the AKS Security Dashboard serves as a complementary tool for Defender for Cloud. It is tailored for platform engineers and developers who require a focused approach to security issues, addressing actions necessary for enhancing the security of their clusters in runtime. The primary objective is to reduce the remediation cycle time for security issues by highlighting these issues to the individuals responsible for their resolution, and by integrating this process into their regular workflows. Defender for Cloud provides a broader perspective. It is designed to offer security practitioners a comprehensive view of their cloud assets, rather than focusing on a single resource.
Perfect. Inbal, let's take a look on this dashboard. I'm pretty sure that everyone is curious to see how it works. So let's go real quick to the demo.
Okay, great. First, let me just explain how you reach that dashboard. So within the Azure portal, with a specific Kubernetes cluster, specific AKS cluster, you need to navigate to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud Plate. And over here, we have all those things I was mentioning earlier. So first, we can see an overall posture status of my cluster. I can see that I have 5 critical vulnerabilities identified in my clusters, and also some misconfigurations. And for each issue type, I can use a different tab to view those recommendations. So let's take a quick look on the vulnerabilities tab. And here I can see I have a list of multiple containers that runs images with vulnerabilities in it. Let's just take a look at one of those. I'll just choose this Nginx container. And by clicking the specific container, I can see the full list of vulnerabilities I have on this container. And for each CVE identified here, I have the fixed version, and also if it's available, and the installed version. So I can quickly understand what do I need to do in order to remediate this vulnerability. Let me show you another type of vulnerability here. As I mentioned earlier, we also identify vulnerabilities in the AKS infrastructure. And here I can see that in my node pool, I'm using a vulnerable image in this cluster. So the resolution to this problem would be to upgrade my node pool and get a newer version of this node pool image to fix those vulnerabilities. So for each recommendation here, there is a possibility to assign it to a specific user. Usually, the people that works with this view, with the AKS portal on a regular basis, are platform engineers and infrastructure teams. And the ones that actually resolve the problems and rewrite the image code are developers. So with this capability, they can assign this task or fixing this container to a specific person in the organization, and also set a time frame for remediation. We also learn from our customers that they usually address the issue according to, so they identify developers group or developers teams by namespace. So it was important for us to add an option to filter that view according to a specific namespace, and then letting our users multi-assign all the vulnerabilities in this namespace to a single person in the organization. So that's another option here. Now let's have a quick look on the misconfiguration tab. And as I mentioned before, we can see here misconfigurations on the cluster level and also on a specific container. So to fix this misconfiguration in the cluster level, we also have the quick fix option here, and I can click it to fix the specific problem and change the configuration of the cluster to a more secure one. So this is for the cluster misconfigurations. And for the container misconfigurations. To fix those, the container will need to get a fix in the deployment and to be redeployed. But for our cluster administrator, to prevent issues like this from occurring again, he can also assign a policy so he can prevent those issues from reoccurring. And containers with misconfigurations, like mentioned on the specific recommendation, will be prevented from deployment in the future. There's also an option to download the CSV report and to get all those recommendations and issues to be exported and used in another system. And also, there's also an option to control the settings of the plan and the plan configuration from this side panel here.
Great work. Amazing work, Inbal. It looks really nice. Now, I'm wondering, after seeing this dashboard, which plans are required for this dashboard to be available, and if there is any difference between plans.
Okay, so to leverage the AKS Security Dashboard, you need to have Defender for Containers on the subscription or on a specific cluster. And you should also be aware that subscriptions covered by Defender CSPM will also be able to benefit from this view. And we always recommend having Defender CSPM on top of a specific workload protection, as by enabling it, we are able to calculate risk more accurately. When we have full visibility into the entire cloud assets, we can conduct cross-cloud resource attack path analysis, and that helps us calculate the risk more accurately. And that will be reflected in that view as well.
So just to clarify, if I don't have Defender for Containers, but I have Defender CSPM, I still have access to the same dashboard with all capabilities, right?
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. Well, that really helps. Thank you for sharing this information. Is there anything else that you want to add, Inbal?
Just a reminder to get started with these new features by ensuring that either Defender for Container or Defender CSPM is enabled in your cloud environment.
Excellent. Well, once again, thank you for putting together the demo. Make yourself available to record this episode. It looks great. Congratulations on this milestone.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. This is a wrap for today's episode. Thanks again for your audience. Make sure to subscribe to our playlist, link below. And stay tuned. We have a lot of things coming up this year for you. See you next time.